The semi-finals for America's Got Talent season 20 are less than a few days away, and we have 11 incredible acts all competing to join the four Golden Buzzers in the live final in just a few weeks. And let me tell you, it's going to be fantastic. But for me, there are two acts this season that not only I think that deserve to be in the top two this season, but I think they deserve to win the whole thing. That's how good these two acts are. And we're going to get straight into this in today's review, talking about who I think will make it into the top two for this season by the end when we get to the season finale. So, without any further ado, let's get straight into the review. So, as you guys know by now, in a few days' time, we're heading into the semi-finals where we have 11 acts all competing to join the four Golden Buzzers in the final in a few weeks' time. And honestly, it is looking up to be a great final overall. We have some great acts there already. We have Team Recycled who got the Golden Buzzer, so well deserved. Steve Ray Ladson, who was probably the actor I probably have underestimated throughout the competition. And we have two rappers in the final, which I think is the first time ever, being Mama Duke and Micah Palace. So, very interesting Golden Buzzer choices here, which I did not expect, but not complaining regardless. And overall, we have a solid lineup already. So, hopefully, we get the acts I'm hoping for to get to the final on Tuesday night, which will be fantastic. But getting to this video here, the reason I'm doing this review here is there are two acts this season that we have in the semi-finals that not only do I think that deserve to win the entire thing, but I honestly think could end up being in the top two this season. And I honestly think it would be one of the most competitive final twos I would have ever seen on the show, because I think both of these acts are just incredible. So, and for those who don't know, I've actually hinted this a few times in my reviews for the past few weeks on who I think the top two will be. But today, this is the time where I officially talk about it as well. So here we go. So here, the acts who I think will make it into the top two by the end of the season are Jessica Sanchez and Unreal Crew. This is the two acts I've been wanting in the top two since their most recent performance, as I think both of them are not only just incredible acts, but they are also winner material. And also, fun fact, this would be the battle of the golden buzzers here, because we have Sophia's golden buzzer and Howie's golden buzzer here if that were to happen. So that would be epic. But honestly, I cannot wait for this. Honestly, I mean, I can't wait for this, but honestly, I'm really hoping that this is the top two by the end of the season, as it honestly would just be fantastic. Just both of them are absolutely incredible acts overall as well. So to see them in the top two together would just be nothing short of incredible. So now I've briefly talked about the top two here, who I want to be in the top two. Why don't we go ahead and talk about the acts individually and why I think they could be in the top two by the end? So let's start off with Jessica Sanchez, and I think we all know the story by now who she is, because she's most famously known for being on American Idol back on the 11th season and was massively robbed, if I dare say so myself. She was hugely robbed, in my opinion, of not winning that year. And of course, she was on the very first season of America's Got Talent all the way back in 2006. So when it was shown that she was returning, everybody was going nuts about it. And also, and at the time, I actually vaguely knew who she was, and I knew the name, but I just couldn't remember where I saw her from. And that's when I saw her stuff, because we saw it in the very first trailer of the season, where they had a mention of her being in the very first season of the show, and honestly, the comments were going crazy over her. But anyways, back to this. I vaguely knew. I mean, I knew the name. I had heard her name many times before, but I just wasn't too sure where. So when I found out she was on American Idol, I googled her performance up, and the one I watched was when she did "And I'm Telling You" from Dreamgirls in the top four of her season in the semi-finals. And let me tell you, I was absolutely blown away by that performance. And honestly, I think it's one of the greatest American Idol performances ever. For me, one of the best performances in the history of American Idol. Like, it's easily like top 10 for me. It's absolutely outstanding, and her voice is outstanding. So, and going back to the trailer actually of the season, I mentioned this in my first review of the season, talking about the acts, and they mentioned about I mentioned about Jessica and how the comments were going crazy on her, but we're going to go to the YouTube, the ones from the most recent, a few weeks ago here, and honestly, just reading the comments. So, but we'll get to that in a minute. But anyways, let's talk about her most recent performance. So, as you know, she did in her audition. She performed "Beautiful Things" by Benson Boone, and she absolutely blew the house down with this performance. It was outstanding, and I even said it in my review of her audition that it was one of the best vocal performances I had ever heard on the show, and I truly mean that as well. I just thought she was outstanding, and which got her the golden buzzer, of course, from Sophia, which was so well deserved as well. I was just so happy for her, and to see how far she's came, and also she's now 9 months pregnant, by the way, which is madness. So massive congratulations to her for her new baby and her husband. Honestly, my massive congratulations go out to her, and just honestly, I just think she's just such a phenomenal singer. And also her performance of Ordinary by Alex Warren from last week, I think, was once again out of this world. And I even said it on the review of the quarterfinals three for week 3 that it was the best performance of the season, and I stand by that. And I'm not even being biased when I say it, because I genuinely mean that it really truly was one of the best performances I've seen on the show. As I just the way she dominated that performance, and the way the vocal arrangement was extraordinary, and just her vocal range and just her voice in general was absolutely superb. And literally, like Simon says, that if she comes back with the right song choice, she would be the one to beat, which I totally agree with. And honestly, with the semi-final golden buzzer being introduced on Tuesday, I think there's a real shot of her getting the semi-final golden buzzer. Basically, her getting the golden buzzer again. I could easily see that happening for her, and honestly, I would love for that to happen. Uh, she just deserves to win the whole thing. She's just outstanding. And going into the comment section, literally, like about 90% of the comments are just about Jessica. So I'm going to read some of them now. Like, some of the comments here are saying if Jessica didn't win in her first try on AGT and was runner up on American Idol, this time she deserves to be the winner, and she will be. Um, no one says my heart melts for Jessica. I'll buy your album, Jessica. So happy for Jessica. Jessica was number 1 on the voting list. So happy for Jessica. Jessica's the most talented. She represents resilience and perseverance. And Jessica's going to win. And she's got a huge following as well. I think on Instagram she's got about 414k followers, and of course she's got a huge following in the Philippines, which is awesome. And just and since she's been on ADT this season, I've really started to follow her music, and she is just incredible. She really has just got the most incredible voice, and I truly think she deserves to win the whole thing. And I hope, and I truly hope that she does end up winning the whole thing, as she so deserves it. She's just so incredible. She seems so humble, and to see her win after not winning AGT back in 2006 and getting the runner-up spot on American Idol, to see her win for the third time, lucky, would just be amazing. And for the 20th season of AGT, it would just be just incredible. It really would just be incredible. So I am praying for Jessica to win it, as she truly deserves it. And again, I would love to see that happen. And now we are moving on to Unreal Crew, who are, of course, Howie's Golden Buzzer, the dance group from India. And, again, they are another act who I absolutely love, and I think one of the best dance groups I've seen on AGT in such a long time, as they are just out of this world. So, if you guys don't remember, a few of the members from Be Unique Crew were actually part of Unreal Crew, but they left to create their own group, which ended up being Be Unique Crew. But also, a little fun fact for you guys, if you didn't know, they were actually on season 17 of AGT back in 2022. And they didn't make it through to the live shows. But I think the audition was briefly shown for about a minute and a bit, which I think I don't like fully remember. I think I might have saw glimpses of it, and I was just like, "Oh, okay, it's very good, very good." But it was quite short, to be honest. I then think to myself, "Oh, this is a bit of a short performance. Why is it so short?" But anyways, again, so when I found out they would be on this season of AGT for season 20, I was actually thinking to myself they could be a potential golden buzzer, and that's what happened. They got the golden buzzer from Harry Mandel, which was so well deserved. And I just think they are such a unique dance group from what I've seen on the show for years past. Like I've like the way they add the elements of contortion into their routine is incredible. And the audition is honestly one of my favorites of the season. It's just incredible. We have the whole spooky kind of like skeleton theme to it, and then of course the way they did the performance, their choreography was incredible. And then we're going to the quarterfinals, where they once again absolutely blew me away. It was with the whole robotic theme. I think there was even one point where they were doing like a little helicopter, which looked awesome. And just honestly, I just think they are just such an outstanding group, and I do think they're one of the best dance groups I've seen on the show in such a long time, like since the Myers, I think, back in 2022. And that might be a bit of a stretch, but I just think they are such a world class act, and it would be so great to have an act like a dance group like them win the show. And because this is the exact type of act that deserves their own show in Vegas. They clearly deserve the $1 million. It's just they're just such an incredible dance group, and I do think, like I mentioned many times before this video, they are for me one of the best dance groups I've seen on the show in such a long time. They're just what they are capable of doing, and they not only make it just incredible overall, but just again, I just think they're such a breath of fresh air, and you can see how much hard work they put into their act, and I bet you can also just tell how much it means to them being on the show. So to see them, honestly, I would love, and I mean would love to see an act like them win this season, and I think it would be incredible if they did. So I'm fully rooting for these guys for the semifinals, and I just really hope that they get to the final, because they truly do deserve to end up winning this season, and I would not be disappointed in the slightest if they did. So there you have it. That is my top two for this season of AGT. Once we get to the final, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Who are your top two for this season going into the semi-finals? I'd love to hear your thoughts below. And honestly, I wanted to do this so badly because I just think both Jessica and Unreal Crew are just out of this world. And I just think the way they do their performances is just incredible. They're just you can see the hard work they put into their performances, which is amazing. But also, and again, honestly, if this does end up being in the final two, if these two end up being the top two by the end of the season, I honestly think this would be one of the best final twos ever in the history of the show. Because I just think they are absolutely world class acts. They're both incredible what they do. And just to see both of these acts battle it out for the $1 million, and of course to be this season's winner, would just be incredible. So I am truly am hoping for both these acts to go all the way and be the top two, and it would honestly be one of the most competitive final twos ever in the history of the show. So I am hoping for these guys, for both of them to go all the way, and either one winning, I would be absolutely thrilled, over the moon about. But anyways, that's all I have for you for this week's review. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you think will be in the top two this season? Do you agree with my picks? If not, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. But once again, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe with post notification turned on. I would really appreciate that. But for now, thank you so much for watching this video. And of course, I will see you guys next time.